For the first episode, we are bringing here live on the stream. KillSwitch is a friend, a content creator. You want to say any words?
Hello guys, it's me again, KillSwitch. Yeah, thank you for having me here.
All right. We're gonna talk in this short episode about the current state of the game, free to play versus pay to win, the new patches and the patches that been coming into the game, instance, new class, new battleground in PvP, and also I'm gonna ask you what do you like to see in Diablo Immortal. So to kick off this, I want to ask you, what have you been thinking about the game lately? I know that you've been playing for a while, so you want to give a small introduction. When did you start to play? You know, how did you got into Diablo Immortal and all these things?
Yeah, I have been playing since day one of Diablo Immortal. My first class was Demon Hunter. I still remember it. And then after a few months, I changed to the Wizard class because before it was very OP with the Crystal build.
Okay.
And then when the Stunlock build with the Monk class appeared, I changed immediately. And that's why I stayed Monk because of the difficulty. It got me hooked.
So
Before
you were a
I
range
think it took me 1
you
week.
were a range guy,
Yeah,
and then you transitioned to melee.
yeah. First because Demon Hunter has the highest DPS the very first few months, and it can kill everything. PVE before with Demon Hunter is very easy, but when I changed to Monk, everything changed.
So I remember like and also I did an episode with Zonchini, and he said that a lot of players, especially in the beginning, when there was this phase that Monk was everything. Like Monk used to be like the class that everyone played. Then I've been only playing for like around like 10 months, and pretty much Monk always been the joke until like a few months ago. So I'm pretty sure that you're kind of happy regarding that.
Yeah, right now, especially when they introduced the helicopter essence, Driven Thunder, everything changed. Monk became alive again.
Yeah, that
But as I see when I am uploading videos, a lot of people are already crying for nerf.
I mean, like
Yeah,
there is always gonna be the next class that people are gonna cry. First is Barb, then before Barb was what
yeah,
like Tempest, then before that maybe Necromancer. There's always gonna be the next class, which I wanna touch like a point that I'm remembering. Do you think that the nerf for Barbarian um was a good thing or a bad thing? Or more
uh,
specific, do you think it was the solution for the problems that we're having with Barb?
I think it is not the solution for the problem. The main problem for me is the HOTA, the damage. The undying is not a problem for me.
Yeah.
The only thing is the damage. It can one hit a lot of players. Even as whales in the higher reso bracket, 1 to 2 hits from Evil Monster before. I still remember that he can even sometimes just pass by through me because of that harbor. And I think the Undying Rage nerf is good for us players against barbarians, but especially for free to play. It's very bad. It affected a lot of players in the free to play bracket.
Yeah. But now you don't have to worry because Evil Monster has quit the game, so probably you don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
worry about that anymore. But definitely, he always been a big whale. For those that don't know the context, Evil Monster is definitely a biggest or one of the biggest whales in Europe. Not only that, it is also a good player, and he made our life like hell. So you said that Ota, you think it is the major issue. I absolutely agree. Whenever I made like a small video saying that I think nerfing the Undying Rage was a mistake, it was because not because oh my god you're trying to be so biased to Barbarian, but it's because I was seeing that, man, whale barbs, they don't really rely a lot on the undying. They rely mostly on the
Yeah,
power of the hammer and the one-shotting. And the only people that I was gonna see that was gonna hurt was the free-to-play and low resonance players,
yeah.
which that would end up happening. What do you think about the idea of like limiting the the classes numbered inside the battleground. So for example, right now you can pair up like with 7, 6, 8 barbarian monks, whatever is the class. What do you think about like limiting that to a shorter number?
That would be a great change. We have been asking that a lot of already in the program about the class distribution, because especially before the patch where you are up against 6 to 7 barbarians in one match, it's very unbalanced. I think it will be better if they will change that.
Yeah.
The only problem that I can see, I said this before in the program, is the number of players. When everyone is playing one class, the matchmaking will be, the queue duration will be longer.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the trade-off, right? Like if you're trying to
Yeah.
play the most popular class or the most popular role, even like in other games like League of Legends, you usually just end up like waiting a bit more. And if you want to play, for example, support or a different class, for example, I'm sure like with Wizard or Demon Hunter, you're gonna have like instant queue, right?
Yeah.
But going a bit here, now that we're touching here also on the PvP side, and I know you're heavy into PvP. That's probably like the activity that you enjoy to do the most, or at least that's what I always see. So what do you think about like this difference that there is? Because like we've been playing this game, or you've been playing this game for almost like 3 years, and the gap of resonance just keeps pushing towards like now 13,000. And the reality is like for any player, any new player, even if you want to be a low spender, it's probably gonna take you like 2 or 3 years to reach to around like I don't know 3,000 resonance, right? And during like these 3 years, I am sure like we're gonna keep pushing the resonance up, and up. So I got two questions for you. One, how do you feel about as a whale about these resonance keeps pushing, and then do you feel comfortable on keep spending to keep it up? And the other one is your thoughts about maybe getting a catch up mechanic system for the new players, so they maybe stick a bit longer into Diablo Immortal because they see a chance that maybe in the future, instead of like taking 3 years to get to 3,000 resonance, they will be 3,000 resonance maybe like in 1 year or something.
So the when they increase the resonance before the bracket until 13, I think right now it's 13,060, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, something like that.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
13,000
Something
above
like
that.
that. When they increase that resonance, I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought my spending days are over. And then they increase it again. I said I will stop here right now.
And how much you have
The
right now?
money, I have 9,500. Before I'm 9,000 flat, but because of the recent updates,
Oh,
I got around 500 free. That
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
almost free resonance. But yeah, uh, it's a little bit disappointing when they are always increasing the resonance, and every month there's new gems. I keep saying also in the program that the gems before the very first one, because those what I have, they should change it a little bit, because there's a lot of 2-star gems already that are better than this 5-star. So when they increase the resonance, it's disappointing. But what I notice right now, because I am playing PvP a lot, resonance right now with the current state of the game, it doesn't matter around 8k plus. So let's say 7k plus, it doesn't matter as long as you have good secondaries.
Mm.
If you have high resonance, for example, I am facing 10k whales, 11k whales that has lower secondaries than me. I can easily defeat them. But with 7k or 8k resonance that has higher secondaries than me, they can also easily defeat me. So I think the resonance right now, it's not, let's say, it's not that a big deal if you are already above 7k. It's better to focus on your secondaries.
So,
That's one of my mistakes. I should have focused on my secondaries than resonance.
so what is your level of the secondaries right now, more or less? Around
Uh,
6,000?
I Yeah, around 6,000. Everything is already rank 8. But for my Resonance, everything should be rank 9 at least.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's actually a great point that you're bringing. Is like the resonance is the main pay to win mechanic, and yet
Mhm.
for the past year, maybe year and a half, players start to finding out, and more, as the game keeps progressing, that well, the real power on your character relies really, especially in PvP, on your secondaries. But what you also saying, and actually is very interesting. It's like you're saying that okay, you get the most benefit until like 7,000 resonance, and after that, well, you still get powerful, of course, but there's a bit of like diminished returns, and instead of like
Yeah. Yeah.
spending so much money into trying to push for like 9, 10, or 11k, you should try to push your gems to rank 8, 9, or even 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because a lot of players, especially in the German cluster, a lot of them has low reso,
Mm.
but their secondaries are very high. You can see them performing very well in Battleground.
You also see like whenever whenever you see me in Battleground, I also perform well, right, with my
Yeah.
with my
Yeah, yeah.
1k
With
resonance.
but with your resonance, you're playing very well compared to the other whales as well.
I appreciate that.
Because what I notice about whales, especially on the very highest bracket, they just kill people, just running around killing without even having any strategy because it's very easy for them. That's why.
Yeah,
But
it's
when you
just too
started free
powerful,
to play,
and
yeah,
you can almost like brute force all the strategy and skill that revolves. And also, like going back to the current state of the game, I will say that the game right now, especially in PvP, PvE, everything is about you buff up and you just run, you do a lot of CC, or you do a lot of AoE damage. And it seems to me that that philosophy, it is fine for like farming dungeons, but I think it removes a lot of like the skill that it should be involved in PvP. I don't remember a lot to actually aim a skill shot in this game. I think like maybe in the past things were a bit like slightly different, but the power creep that there exists, especially with these new instances coming, it is insane. So how do you think it is like the current meta compared to maybe how it was before?
before when so these very few first few months of the game, we are really learning the mechanics of each, especially in PvE. But right now, you just like as you said, you just brute force everything and then kill every mob. The only mode that I can think of that required skill is the gauntlet. Anything else is very easy to clear.
Yeah. And especially if you get to be as strong as you are, right? Like nothing really is a challenge. Do you like to see like the PvP going into a more skillful play match, like where maybe I have to aim a bit more my skills, or we have to maybe reduce or nerf all these buffs, because it really is a buff up run in AoE. Like we also had the ota. I mean, I know very well, like it is absolutely OP, the radius of like that hammer, right? Like it makes that the the barbarian is almost a range class, because like if you get pulled with the chains, it will smack you in melee, but if you are in a certain distance, it will still smack you, which makes life very, very dangerous. So what do you think about this?
So for PvE, I would like that. I would like to have that. But for if it is about the other players, I know about other players. They want everything to be finished quickly, as fast as possible because they are farming. For me personally, I would like to have a more difficult level of play versus environment. The change on the challenge dungeon is very good for me, and they also removed the following method in the dungeon.
Mhm.
That's a huge change for me. But as I said a while ago, a lot of players would hate this because they want everything to be finished as fast as possible.
Yeah.
For me personally, I would like that.
And
a little bit more challenging.
going back to the question between like free to play and pay to win, as I mentioned, like the gap in the beginning of the game was pretty much like, it was still fairly like, if you were like a big whale, you were still gonna probably stump. But now we're talking about like a very wide range. Would you be or consider that it could be good for the game? Especially because whenever like Diablo Immortal keeps losing, or at least from the stats that we see, keeps losing players over time. Would you, in I think from my comments and all these things, that one of the main reasons, like, they just don't stick for that long, especially whenever they see that their progression will never reach to a point that it will be competitive, or they will be like stronger enough to just make a dent, or at least contribute in some ways. What will be considered that could be a good thing, introducing some kind of catch-up mechanics when it comes to resonance and secondaries?
For catch-up mechanics, yeah, I think a lot of games have that this mechanic. It will be a great change as well for free-to-play players, especially if you are just starting the game, because it's already been 3 years and we are having few new players, and soon the day will die. And we need a lot of new players. If they introduce catch-up mechanics, that would be great. But I know a lot of whales would hate that because the amount of money they spend through day one, and then when you are just a new player, then you can catch that the same amount of money in just a few months. They will hate that. For me personally, I would like that. The the life of the game is more important to me than disappointings
Yeah,
of the few
exactly.
whales.
Because like, if the game dies and there is no game, then either way, you're you're spending into the game. It's going to nothing, right? So
Yeah,
when saying in trying to introduce here a catch-up mechanic, we're not talking about like a free to play will have a catch-up mechanic to be like 9,000. Now we're saying just like
yeah,
to make it like bump a bit and accelerate the progression, especially when it comes to the resonance. Because and the secondaries, because like we keep progressing with the Inferno 5, where we are right now. And for Inferno 5, even on the secondaries, you are required to have around like 4,000, 4,500, something like that, armor pen, to get all those bonus. So if you are a day one player, first of all, it is not a day one player, a player starting like right now, maybe in the past month, even if you get the combat rating to reach to Inferno 5, it is just gonna be tremendously difficulty, because you're gonna have like 2,000 secondaries, and everything's just gonna be extremely, extremely hard. So I feel like this leads to a lot of disappointments whenever they see the legacy of Oradrin, the events. You don't have catch-up mechanics.
yeah,
Also like the secondaries, the normal gems, as we're talking. um yeah, so I understand like there are two sides of the coin, because, but I want to touch like a point that I just remembered, is regarding, if you are, imagine like you are a whale, like you yourself, you come into the game, you usually are a spender in the game, and you just want to enjoy Diablo Immortal, and you look, and you start realizing, okay, if I want to be like a big whale, a 9K whale like KillSwitch, I enjoy his channel, I watch his video, and I want to do the same as him. And then you start making the math, and you start thinking, hmm, maybe that's gonna be a lot of money and a lot of time. So they have, these players probably have two choices, right? Or a lot of them, or they get demotivated and they quit. Others, maybe they go the legit route, or others, they go and try to go to
yeah,
the back door and to get
yeah.
an account that maybe is gonna be from a previous owner. So I kind of wanted to ask you, what is your take on like all this situation? I know that maybe you're a drama-free content creator, you don't like to go into these things, but I gotta have
Yeah.
your opinion on this. Like, what is your opinion regarding like these buying and selling accounts, these like black market stuff?
For the bot accounts, I personally have no problems with me because a lot of players are already quitting the game. I would rather have to play with someone
Yeah.
than with bots. That's why I do not have any problem. I think the problem is coming from those who spent from day one until 12K resonance, 13K. They spend a lot of money already, let's say minimum 100K euro. So that is the minimum spent. And for example, if I got a 11K, 12K account with just 20K, that's a huge disappointment for them. Of course, they would hate it. But I have been playing since high school pay to win mobile games. This is very normal for me, especially in Southeast Asia. It's very normal to having buy and sell accounts. The only problem for me is the pilots. Those who farm your account 24/7. That should not be allowed. But for it's okay for the bot accounts. For the pilots, because why do you hire someone to play your account just to have everything?
Yeah.
You should enjoy your account when you buy that. Yeah, for me, I don't have any problems with buy and sell.
Now you touch on a very good point, which is sometimes I try to discuss here, but I am from the Western, so I'm not like really that involved in the Southeast Asia culture. But I know that in this area, pay to win, it is like super normalized. It is almost like part of it. So I want to ask you, like, what is, in your opinion, the difference that you see between mindsets of like the Southeast Asia and like the Western gamers?
I think because Southeast Asia, based on what I noticed, is that people are working so much that they have no time anymore to play games. That's why they spend a lot so they can catch up easier. That's why they spend huge amount of money, and it's no problem for them that we have buy and sell accounts. If we have that, especially right now, if Blizzard will make that legit and they can have commission, they will get more money out of it. Uh, for example, the China server, so in East Asia, it is legit. They also have a site for that. They are controlling. I think NetEase is controlling that site. They are handling everything. I think that's the difference, especially on China. People are working hard so much 24/7, and they just want to stress out. That's why they spend a lot of money in the game. So maybe they can feel a little bit happier within the game, so they have a second life of the game. For me, I am spending because I am also working full time. I cannot play as you guys, let's say as the hardcore gamers. I I can catch up through paying. That that is the advantage of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always a trade-off, right? Like you're trading time for money, and usually free to plays they trade, power for time. And
Yeah.
but if you are like you're saying, that like those kind of like paid with players that not on top of like these paying to catch up on the power, they are also like hiring pilots and all these things. They are obviously they're gonna be like super strong. But from what I got from you is like well, chat, I'm sorry, we are lazy here in the Western, and because we don't work much. But I understand because it's just like different, very different culture. And I absolutely, after you said that, it made me realize something that I never really thought. It's just like when you are working so much, and especially like in the Southeast Asia, like there's no comparison. Like the amount of hours that you guys usually put is just like tremendous compared to the Western. And anyone that thinks otherwise is just like delusion. So I understand like that a lot of spending comes when you have like a full-time income, and you still enjoy the game, but because you don't have time, you just end up like spending more. That's actually that's fair. And I never had like any problem like with spenders, but I see that a few free to play players, they get like very very angry at these. But I feel like if you are a whale and you are in this position, just take it like most of the times these people are just projecting in the comments, and it's not really about you. So I want to ask you, you are a massive whale, you have a YouTube channel, you do crazy things with your monk now. Do you get any of like these comments like, "Oh, he only does this because he's a whale"? Do you get usually these kind of things?
Yeah, a lot, a lot. I'm getting that a lot. A lot of comments saying that I don't have any skill. I only have high resonance. That's why I can kill people. That's why sometimes in the videos I show also the resonance of the opponents, so they can see that some of my videos are a little bit balanced. Let's say a lot of people are saying that. And a while ago, I also posted this in my Discord channel. Someone called the build gay. And then I replied, just call me fabulous. I just ignore these comments. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
As long as I enjoy the game.
yeah, 100%. Like in the start, whenever I started these, like every comment was like, "I gotta like try to fight back," all these things.
Yeah.
But there are some people like you just cannot convince, and it usually just comes out of ignorance, and because like they probably never been like at that high tier legend where they really know how hard it can get. Because yeah, you are 9,000 resonance, but you are fighting most of the times people around your resonance, of course below your resonance, but a lot of times above your resonance and above your
Yeah.
secondaries, which makes it very, very hard. So talking about this, about classes, you said that in the beginning you were Demon Hunter, which I didn't know, and then you went on the Wizard, and then you finally saw the Monk. But I also see you like playing around with other things sometimes. I want to ask you, are you, because since you've been from the start, you saw the Blood Knight, then you had the Tempest, and now supposedly we're gonna have the Druid. What are your thoughts about it?
I am not sure about the Druid class. I do not know how it works. I think that was introduced in Diablo 3, or
It was in
I'm not sure
Diablo
anymore.
2, then in Diablo 4.
Diablo 2 as well?
Yeah, and then in the
Ah, I
Diablo
see.
4, it is
Yeah,
yeah, you are like a bear.
I remember now. Yeah, I played a little bit on Diablo 4 with the Druid class. I'm not sure. I'm not that excited like other people because I'm really enjoying Monk right now, and I know that there's a time or a month that the Monk will die again.
Mm,
Let's see.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's you touched on a very good point now. That's eventually will die out. It's like if your class it is not in a good state, it is part of like the cycle. Usually there's always like a few classes that they will take like what do we call the meta, and afterwards they will go down, others will rise, and usually they come these changes like with new instances and new things. But regarding the druid, I feel like my excitement comes if they make a class that will have like a different role besides what we have. So I am really, really hoping that this class it has the potential to, for example, be a tank. It has the potential to be a healer. It has the potential to just like bring a lot of support into the game. And in the past months, we kind of lost a lot of like these tanky classes. So that for me, it is what is the most exciting. What do you think about introducing like a class a bit more support tanky? Because druid barbarian died, crusader died, now we have monk, but monk is not really a tank.
Yeah, it's not really a tank. Yeah, I think if they introduce this role for the new class, it will be great. I think they should make Monk as a healer when they introduced it before. Not like an assassin. But yeah, it will be great for the addition for the
Yeah,
game.
I
If they will make the druid tank, I'm not sure. I think yeah, it will be a new barbarian.
I'll be a
It will be a
massive
new
bear. I'll be
barbarian.
a massive bear in the
Yeah.
idol. That
Yeah, it will be a new barbarian.
no, but you said like something that whenever like monk was not like that great into the meta, I said that I wish like, and especially based on the fantasy of monk itself, and that it should 100% play around maybe the summons, maybe around the shields, maybe healing the party, not only himself, maybe like dispelling some
Yeah,
CC.
dispel.
Yeah, dispel will be insane. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
dispel.
we need. Like we need like maybe the monk goes, does a buff, puts immunity to CC for like 1 or 2 seconds on a party, and then we will start having maybe a more structured PvP, because like right now the party doesn't really matter unless you have a crusader. The rest is just like everyone just goes. And personally, I like a bit more structured PvP. And right now, whenever I go into a battleground, it's just like all I see, every, or like
Yeah,
everyone, everyone is
yeah,
just like trying to kill everyone. Nobody wants to go on the idol any longer.
yeah.
So that's like what for me is like the weird state that, at least from the 10 months that I've been playing, this right now it is the weird state that I seen. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I am also playing a game. It's called Mobile Legends, but that
Yeah.
was a few years ago. If you will choose a role for a support, you will match up as a support class. So the matchmaking is also good there because before the start of the game, you will set your role.
Mm.
If you want to be the DPS, you want to be the tank, I think it will be a good addition. But as I said, I think it's very difficult to do that in Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
because probably like in that game everyone starts at the same level, and then
It's not pay to win.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then you just
everything is
start trying to
the
gear
same.
up like with the out skilling everyone. But the major issue is like, for example, that exists right now. Even if you want to be like a massive tank, if you don't have like the enough resonance or secondaries as no low spender, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much damage reduction you're gonna try to stack. Like you're still gonna get a lot of damage into it. So moving on here to a different topic, I want to ask you like regarding the battleground. In general, like I know that probably you also I know for sure that we've been on the testing, but without going into the NEDA stuff, I want to ask you like a more generic question, because before I always saw Abu asking a lot like for a new battleground map, and
New map.
personally I was always thinking that I don't know if a new map will actually change a lot when it comes to the, like if you just change the layout and the mechanic of pushing the idol, it is still the same. Then maybe it's not gonna change that much, but a different game mode will be very very interesting. So what is your thoughts? Like you think like a new map will be enough, or do you like to see maybe, I don't know, a new game mode? So for example, I don't know if you ever played World of Warcraft, but we had like 3v3 arenas. We had like just
Yeah,
different formats that they could have added. What do you think about this?
they should add that 3v3, especially 1v1. I keep asking that past few years that they should release 1v1, but it only happened beside the dummy test. They should just make that as a permanent mode beside the battleground captain. For the new map, for this coming new map, I'm going to give a general what I think of. I think for me personally, the new PvP mode for me is good. It's great. I like it. I like it. But let's see if a lot of players would like that as well.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
that's fair.
I I,
But
I want to talk about more about it, but it's against
no,
it's
no, no.
NDA. Yeah.
That's why I said like, do you think like will be enough to change the PvP?
For the first few months, I think it will. It will
Will be
make
more
players hook
fresh,
up.
right? Like
Yeah, yeah, it's new. Yeah. But maybe as time goes, everyone will get bored again as usual. But maybe yeah, for the first few months.
but that's the cycle. So going into a different direction, I want to ask you, and after this question, I know that we have here some people in the chat, so if you guys want to start making your questions, we're gonna answer it. Also, we're gonna do a Q&A with the chat. You guys can start putting, because I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna pull up. So now it's the time. So what you like to see more in Diablo Immortal? Just straight up.
Specifically, I want to see more in PvP, a lot of changes. I want to have a reso bracket. The I'm not sure how difficult it is to implement that kind of method, but I think it will change a lot of. It will make the game a little bit balanced for me. I I do not know because I'm not a developer, but I think placing a resonance bracket would make it at least more balanced than what we have right now. And again, the class distribution, they should really place that. It's not only melee versus range, because it's not working well when we have it.
Do you think
Those
regarding the reso bracket that you're speaking, that the main reason why we don't have like changes like these is because maybe there's not enough whales or not enough players in general?
there's not enough players. Usually with this player, when a game is focusing mainly on PvP, especially like battle arena games, they have millions of players, right? I think we only have thousands of players, so 6 digits, let's say.
Yeah.
It's not
Counting
enough.
off the bots, pretty sure like we are around
Yeah,
like 800,000, maybe 1 million. I mean,
yeah,
like this is a non-official numbers, right? But that's what people have been able to
yeah.
pull up. The official number right now, I think, is around 1.6 or 1.5, but I am very hesitant that that's the number outside of like China, and just based on, for example, the numbers that we see on YouTube, right? Like if we had a player base of 1.6 million players, 100% every content creator of Diablo Immortal will be doing at least one more zero on their videos, because they'll be
Yeah.
just like way more search. um but I like what you're saying, and I have here like also regarding they are asking in the chat regarding PvE, like it's something that you care, is something that if they like, because you touch in the topic that gauntlets is pretty much like the only thing that is actually challenging. Would you like to see anything from them on the PvE side that will make you maybe spark a bit a excitement towards it, or do you just PvP all the way?
On the PvE side of the game, I would like to have more storyline, because before I got hooked up because of it.
Yeah,
It's not because of the PvP. But once I already cleared every story of the game, it got a little bit boring. A lot of my players as well before, friends as well before, they stopped playing because it's it's just grinding after the story. Maybe place I do not know. Maybe place more quests, story quests like what we have right now, but it's only on the major updates. That's why it's getting boring on PvE.
yeah, that's actually a good point, because like if I really like the Discord or my YouTube comments, sometimes it's like they say, "What do I do now? I finished the main quest. What do I do now?" And then I'm like, okay, I have this
Yeah.
video where you can go check like the weekly routine and blah blah. But this shouldn't be like that. It should be like a clear path where people finish the main story, but there is a really good segue into the supposed end game. But it is like you finish the main quest, and then there's like you just get like so lost. That's 100%. That's one of the biggest complaints that I am always reading, because players, they just don't know what to do, how to actually get their gears. There's just not a clear path, and 100% I am with you. I would love to see more story updates more often. Maybe a quest every 4 months, because for me, I'm the same as you. I'm not like a someone that loves to story games, or that plays because of the story, but 100% whenever I started to play Diablo Immortal between the seasons of Diablo 4, the story was like, okay, this game is actually not that bad. No, my expectations was like, because I came like very after like, almost 2 years, right? Like, so I knew what people will say about the game, the perception that they have. So the story kind of hooked me up, um, and like people are saying also here in the comments, like YouTube is more younger people, and a lot of older players won't watch YouTube. Do you agree with this?
I think majority of the viewers for Diablo Immortals are, let's say, 30 years old and above.
It's a boomer game, okay?
Yeah, it's a boomer game.
Millennial boomer game, 100%. No, but I think like YouTube is so massive. I don't think YouTube it is mainly for the younger people. And I mean, we are young, okay? We what are you talking about? No, I agree, man. Like we touched like in so many good points. Like, there is anything else that you wanna like bring into the table that you like to speak regarding this game?
I think regarding this game, right now I cannot think of it immediately. But maybe when we are not talking about it, I can think of something. But right now I cannot think
Okay,
of
so
anything.
I have one last question, and this a bit more personal. It has to do with your content creation. I want to know like why did you started content creation, and I mean how long have you been doing? Because I met you towards like Diablo Immortal, but how did you end up here?
For content creation, I started doing this on the game Dragon Raja. So before it is also a pay to win mobile game.
Okay.
That was way back, I think 2017, 2018. I cannot remember anymore. So someone said that I should start a YouTube channels because I can give some good advices and guides for the players in this game. That's why I started, and I cannot speak English properly before. I'm very shy speaking English, but as time goes by, I always have a script before as well. If I make a video, I always make some scripts. That's why one video takes 1 to 2 days to be 10 minutes video take 1 to 2 days just for me to upload it because I also am doing scripts. But right now, because of it, yeah,
No, but I'll say like
I got a little bit
your
confident.
English is really good, man. I don't think. Oh, listen, like you came
Uh,
here, you spoke with me, and you absolutely can just like open up the OBS. You know the game. You've been playing this for a very long time. I'm sure like you're gonna be confident to start doing that, man. But you were saying like you started with this journey of playing another game, and people were saying that you were pretty good. I actually relate to that because like I'm only doing this content creation because like for so many months I was in this clan, and I had like 3 people in the clan saying, bro, you are pretty good at the free to play, you gotta make YouTube videos. And I'm like, man, I'm not gonna do. Why will I do videos,
yeah.
man? Why will I do those things? You know, like I don't want to bother. Like, why would people like want to listen to me? You know, but the reality is like it's kind of nice afterwards. You know, like once you fight all these confident issues, and then you just realize that hey, there's something here that I found in the game. Maybe it's gonna be useful for you, and I hope it does. Um, so it is pretty good, man. Thank you so much for coming. I hope this was not like very stressful for you, but you did.
No, at first it was very stressful. My wife is hugging me a while ago because I was very stressed out. But once I talk to you, yeah, it's all good.
I mean, I am glad. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and also to the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. We've been finishing the stream right now, and well, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support, and I catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to go and follow these guys. Subscribe to KillSwitch for the best monk builds, man. You wanna say anything?
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to our channels. Be in this. I hope you guys
All
enjoyed this
right.
one.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. Peace.